and good evening. Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to this impromptu solo stream here. It is Tuesday night, 6:07 p.m. here on July 15th, and I wanted to talk about some stuff with Xbox and gaming and all that stuff and just say hello to the chat. Wasn't able to have our regular show last week. There's Kate's worried about she's making too much noise with her. What is that? A cookie? A brownie? No, you're good, baby. Yeah, we didn't have a show on Thursday. Had just too much going on. It was been a crazy week last week. We will have a show this Thursday though, so this won't replace that or anything. But man, just been chilling. I was sitting here. I just got done doing a bunch of work stuff and was like, hey, let's go say hi to the community and talk about some stuff I've been seeing going on over the last week and a half or so. Xbox and gaming news and all that kind of stuff. But shout out to the chat. Shout out to Web Dave, who was here first in the chat, said, let's go, Mavrant, Mavrant, Mavrant. Maybe you'll get one. Who knows? It says, hit the like button. TTS Mav, bruh. Yeah, shout out to Web Dave. Appreciate you. Member for 13 months. OCD Gamer here hanging out as well. OCD, what's up, dude? RSJ fan, how's it going? We got Dark Zone 2525 here hanging out as well. Jax82 is here. What's up? BT Maverick 707 is here. What is going on? Wilfrey Rosario, what's up? Says Mav, bro, miss you, man. Hope everything is okay. Yeah, we're doing good here, man, and miss you too. Miss everybody here in the community. Hope all you are doing amazing. Glad to be back doing content and talking to you guys. It's been awesome here having the channel back for a couple weeks, and it's good to be talking games. See, Tense Games says, "What's up? Hey, what's hanging? Hey, we're just chilling." There's been some stuff. I don't know if y'all saw. I was on Boom Show. Was that Monday or no? What? I don't even remember what day that was. Friday. Yeah, Friday of last week. Time flies already. Wow. Yeah, Friday of last week I was on Boom Show in the morning. And I got some stuff to say there, and I got some more to say because there's been a lot of conversations still going on. There's a lot of actual good news coming out with Xbox the last couple days. Actually, we have another new feature that was just announced today with Stream Your Own Game is coming to PC, which is just another evolution of what we've been talking about for a while. The stuff that they're doing, moving the accessibility of games to where the whole everything is an Xbox thing is becoming more and more so of reality where you're going to be able to access your games in multiple different ways no matter where you're at. This is going to help the devices like the Xbox ROG Ally X, the existing PC handhelds, and also if you just got a gaming PC or if you got a shitty laptop or something, you got a shitty laptop, anything like that. If you own a game and you have Game Pass Ultimate, you can play it even if it's not in Game Pass. So that's awesome to know that the accessibility just got easier for a lot of people. If you got a good internet connection, you can get a really shitty ass laptop. As long as you have access to internet, a good internet connection, you can go and you can stream the games that you own and really good high quality, which they're actually making more and more improvements to the cloud streaming as well. So it's something I've talked about numerous times about how I use the cloud streaming quite a bit. I enjoy playing the games that way because they made a lot of improvements. And it's fun. The latency is real low now. The clarity is good. It's getting even better. And if you got a solid internet connection, there's no reason not to do that. Plus, also in these other handhelds, you're going to get, it's just going to add to where if you want to save on storage space, because it's going to get pricey on those things. They don't have the most storage, obviously, right? So having to add storage all the time and all that kind of stuff, it helps to have your gaming library. I advocate for more games to support those features. That's what I think as gamers and consumers, that's the kind of stuff we should be asking for, not being concerned with the profitability of the companies by giving access to us, right? Like, why would we as customers sit there and complain or be concerned about all these companies for giving us more access to the content? Are we the consumers or are we the shareholders? Or are we the, you know what I mean? Like a lot of backwards thinking going on in the gaming community, especially when it regards to Xbox. And I think it's just because the other companies have stuck into such traditional models for so long and they aren't doing the same thing. So it's becoming like, well, their Xbox is doing a bad thing because they're giving us more access because these other companies aren't doing it. Well, I think anytime like gamers or consumers pay for service or buy a game or whatever, we should be asking for the most value and access to that content in that game possible. Like, why not? Why would we have a different mindset with games than any other media, than movies or music or anything like that? It doesn't make sense to me. Imagine buying a Blu-ray player or something that was only for certain movies. That would just be weird and would suck ass, right? Imagine that your TV didn't have access to Netflix because it was a certain brand, right? Like, it's just stuff like that's stupid. Like, why would we not want more content and better access for our games and our services? BT Maverick 707, member for 9 months, says you guys should come to Xbox Fan Fest next year. Oof. I hope they have it, man. They didn't have one in the U.S. this year. I think they're doing Gamescom. That's in Germany. That's really far. So I don't know if I want to do that, but I know the community put together an awesome a community event this year, and I saw a lot of the videos and stuff. Shout out to everybody that put that together because it looked like it was a lot of fun. Yeah, that'd have been cool to go to, but we had other things going on here. Nate Dogg says, "What's up, Matt? I hope Obsidian's on the next Fallout, not just Bethesda." Man, I think there's multiple studios on the next Fallout, bro. The next Fallouts. I think there's got to be more than just Fallout 76 content going on. There's got to be more than just Fallout 5 or whatever is next. Like there's got to be more than that. I think there's got to be multiple Fallout projects as has been reported, with multiple studios involved. I In Exile's capable of doing stuff. Obviously Obsidian's capable of doing that stuff, and of course Bethesda as well. So I think also they could look at other studios, even especially if you're looking at like remasters or remakes as well. Like, why not? Virtuous just killed it with Oblivion remaster. Why not put them on Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas rematch? Like, that would be pretty sick. What's next? What's next for the remakes and remasters? Because they're all the rage right now, especially when they're older games. I don't mind it for 360 and earlier era games. I'm not all a huge fan of getting these huge remakes and remasters for games that just came out of the last generation. But yeah, man. Polly Baba says, "Give me Fallout 3 remake." Hell yeah, dude. What's up, Black Card A? How's it going, dude? Web Dave said Hargeet is already in the planning stages for next year's LA Community Fan Fest, and Microsoft is helping even more this year. For next year's event, don't miss it. Yeah, maybe we'll be able to make it. That'd be really cool. Let's see. Is it true? To be honest, the truth? Yeah, so this kind of like, I wanted to get into some of that stuff because, it's been really hard for Xbox to overcome the optics and the community conversation aspect of winning that cool card back this generation. I thought they were on the cusp with the momentum they had going in from last gen into this generation, right? And I thought that they were making really good progress with that. Of course, they had some stumbling out of the gates this gen, especially with 2022 falling flat with the games releasing, and then you had kind of the dud release of Redfall. Then you had a couple of studio closures. Then you had, Arcane, Austin was shut down, and you also had Tango Gameworks, which was resurrected, thankfully. But from all the falling out that you had with that stuff, I think the Xbox had a good 2023. They had an awesome end of 2024. 2025 has been absolutely incredible with game releases. I mean, the last 8-9 months has just been absolutely insane with Xbox releases, but they still can't escape the negative conversations around the brand all the time. And that's what the true thing is, I think, about Xbox more than anything, is just this community impact of conversation negativity from games media and stuff. Some people call it the Xbox tax. I'll call it the Xbox tax when it goes to games media for sure. But it goes deeper than that. It goes into actual hearts and minds of gamers and that are on other platforms. It goes to just a general overall optics of the brand and everything. And it's just hard for them to overcome stuff that's so ancient now. And anytime anything happens that's negative, like you could have the layoffs that they just had, which other companies have been having massive amounts of layoffs. PlayStation's had numerous layoffs. They've had studio closures and all these kind of things. But when Xbox has the same thing, which we know is was part of a bigger, tech giant cut down, slim down, trim kind of thing going on now, that's going on in a lot of big tech giant companies and in the corporate world, right? Um, Weirdly, it becomes a sustainability and profitability problem, and not only that, it becomes a Game Pass problem. Somehow, weirdly, and all of that with the layoffs and all that other kind of stuff, what became the biggest conversation point was Game Pass. And that was out of the blue. There was nothing to report. There's no actual news regarding Game Pass. There was nothing actually tangible whatsoever regarding Game Pass that was deserving of any of the news or any of the conversations, except for a couple of developers that had something to say that decided that was a good time because of layoffs to chime in with their opinions of Game Pass, which who gives a shit what they have to say or think, because like one of them doesn't even work for the studio anymore and the other one doesn't put their games in Game Pass anyway, and their game was selling really well regardless. When that, I'm talking about Baldur's Gate 3. So we shouldn't expect every developers to want to put their game in Game Pass. That's not feasible. That's not realistic. Xbox couldn't even afford to pay every single developer in the world to put their game in Game Pass. That's not what any of us should expect. But what we do expect is a great service that has great games going into it day and date, and giving us more value than any other platform holder out there with their subscription service. And that's absolutely what we're getting. And there's a lot of developers that love it. But for some reason, when the layoff thing happened, all of a sudden it flipped around to let's attack Game Pass again, which is just a weird thing. And that's the truth. That's what happens, right? Any negative thing about Xbox that becomes any kind of news or any kind of somebody says something. It could be a developer in some studio that's maybe not even making an Xbox specific game, or it could be a layoff situation, or it could be anything. It could be, oh, this game is missing a feature or something, or a game skipped the platform or whatever. All of a sudden, everything becomes a sustainability and profitability problem. Xbox is dead. Xbox is leaving console hardware space. Game Pass is the issue. Let's all attack it, and let's make sure that nobody can feel good about being excited about Xbox. And that is the truth. And that's what has kind of permeated in people's minds over the last decade. And I think it's too hard of a thing to overcome overall, man. It's like, I kind of wish that in general people would focus on the companies and what they're delivering to us, the value that we're getting, what we're paying for, the services and the features that are offered to us. And that should be the talking point. And if that was a talking point, and if consumers and gamers focused on those things, then you would see nothing but positivity about Xbox in the last year. Because they're absolutely dominating across multiple platforms now, and especially with value to us. So that's the truth. Sub JMO Money says, out here spitting truth. Hey, I'm just calling it like I see it. I mean, it's just the weird thing is, like, no platform is talked about more than Xbox by far. You could go to any gaming website, games media, they'll have article after article after article about Xbox. You can go and listen to any podcast, gaming podcast, PlayStation podcast, doesn't matter, any of these podcasts, and you'll hear mostly negative conversation about Xbox, and that's what their talking points are. And how hard is it for Xbox to ever overcome the minds of gamers if you're just constantly hearing and seeing shit talking about the brand all the damn time? So that's just from that perspective, and that's the reason why that happens, is because that shit sells. That shit gets clicks. When there's a slow news day, hey, let's find something where we can just randomly start shitting on Xbox again. When there is actual news, let's twist it and spin it to become this bigger issue and this bigger problem, and why the Xbox plan of how they're doing their ecosystem is not viable. Like let's just spin everything into this whole thing why nobody should be excited for any games or anything going on with the Xbox platform. And man, could you imagine like how hard that is to overcome as a company, as a brand? I mean, man, it's like, a lot of companies say like once your image as a company is tainted, then it's like a death sentence, right? And I think that there was things that happened in the past that warranted that conversation, but once that became the thing that sells for games media and the thing that sells for podcasts and all that kind of stuff, it just never ended, despite no matter what Xbox does. And I just couldn't imagine even trying to overcome that stuff now. Like, I mean, shit. How many games have we gotten in the last year on an Xbox Game Pass day and date that are solid, really good first party titles? Like 8, maybe? I don't know. You had Call of Duty, you had Avowed, you had Indiana Jones. We just had Tony Hawk. We had Outer Worlds 2 is hitting later this year. It didn't happen yet. Oblivion Remaster. You had Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. You have Ninja Gaiden 4 was announced as a surprise for this year. We know there's another Call of Duty coming this year as well. Man, I'm just trying to think back the last several months, and I know I'm missing a few. But yeah, it's like they're giving us by far more than any other company. But those aren't the talking points, man. As those games release, nobody fucking talks about them whatsoever. And it's just instead like a game like Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4 remastered comes out, which I've been playing and I think is a fucking blast and it's absolutely awesome. Nobody's out there talking about it. Nobody's out there talking about it. Instead, it's talking about Game Pass sustainability, viability, profitability, and all that kind of shit. Whereas the other companies, when they're doing the same kind of things with layoffs or anything like that, and don't have any games coming out, nobody even talks about that shit. It's pretty fucking crazy, man. I don't understand why that's a thing. But could you imagine overcoming that as a company? It's just ridiculous. Anyway, besides that, it turns out that people really do fucking love Xbox games because they are top 4 out of 5 bestsellers on PlayStation. I think their Forza Horizon 5, which is a 4-year-old Xbox game, has been selling like 2 million plus copies already since it's launched on PlayStation. We got more Xbox games launching there later this year. And hey, guess what? PlayStation gamers are playing Xbox games more than PlayStation. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Meanwhile, PlayStation's also deciding, hey, let's all of a sudden go third party too. It's working for fucking Xbox. Why don't we go ahead and put Helldivers 2 over there? So these conversations are kind of what I wanted to talk about, and that's the truth. You can call it Xbox tax, you can call it bias, you can call it whatever. But I think it goes into a deeper thing about a love for brand. The image is tainted, and people just want to see Xbox fail. They like seeing the articles talking about Xbox bad, other things good, despite what Xbox is doing, despite anything. Yeah, shout out to, let's see, we got Def Leopard here hanging out. Nate Dogg here again, like I said, hanging out. Yeah, $4 trillion megacorps will never be looked on fondly. 100%. But that isn't ever weighed into the equation when people are discussing Xbox or treating Xbox like it's a little kid brand, or little kid in the grander scheme of things. Like here's Mama Nintendo and Daddy PlayStation, and here's little Xbox trying to truck along, and keep up with the big boys. Is how people really think of it. But they're the number one fucking publisher in gaming right now. And like it's just nobody. They're not talking about that. You might see like an article once in a blue moon talking about it, how successful actually Xbox games are being, but instead it's usually about, hey, uh, this is not sustainable, this isn't profitable, or whatever. Xbox is in trouble. Xbox is moving away from this. Xbox is moving away from that. Whereas I'm sitting there, I'm like, games releasing left and right, playing able to play games on my console, being able to play games on my PC. I can play on my fucking tablet. And I'm like, hey, this is fucking awesome, man. I get all these things in a service that I only have to pay like $20 a month for. Right on, man. I'm not sitting here complaining about that. I'll sit there and sing the praises all day long about all those features and stuff I'm in those games I'm getting for that service. Not sitting there trying to say, hey, they should stop doing it, or is it working for them? I don't give a fuck if it's working for Microsoft. It's working for me. It's absolutely working for me. It's weird to have a community that supposedly loves a hobby so much want us to be fucked over more for the betterment of the companies. And that's the twisted mind that gamers have in general. It is. Like when advancements are made, a lot of times it's like, let's bring back the good old days. Oh, I hate the always online stuff, or I hate game updates, or I hate this, I hate that. Yeah, and there's some annoying negative stuff regarding that stuff for sure, but man, the games are bigger and better than ever before. We're having lots more games right now, actually, this generation than we have in a long time. Yeah, I would like for games to be releasing faster. That's a big problem the industry has. I think trimming things down, streamlining things can actually maybe hopefully help with that process. But in general, like, man, all the advancements that have been made in gaming over the last 20 years, 30 years have improved the hobby for me, not taken away from it. Good to see you too, Thatch. What's up? Mr. Ms. says, yo, been a while. Did you move or just a new setup? No, it's this different room. Got my beautiful wife sitting over here. She has a setup over here also, and it's something that if you've been paying attention to socials today on the Fun Speculation channel, we have some stuff that we're cooking, and kind of officially launched today. We're going to be doing some content together on a new channel, not gaming related, maybe some random conversations here and there. But we will be doing a podcast. The podcast, we don't have a date set up for that yet. I still got to get some equipment. Still got to get some stuff set up for us to have a proper two-person in the same room podcast. So we're trying to figure that out. But yeah, we got this room set up to where we're gonna have a show that we're gonna do in here together, and just talk about life and just nonsense and fun and stuff. But we're also gonna be doing other things like food vlogs and just like random fun stuff. And we just posted the first video over on that channel today, so go check it out if you're interested in non-gaming content. You just want to see some like just chill hangout. It's literally me and Kate in the truck driving around, getting food, eating, talking about stuff. And that's literally what it is. That's what the first video is. And we'll be posting different things like that, podcast, and more. But it's called Sup Babe, because jokingly that's what me and her always say to each other all the damn time. So it's called Sup Babe Network. I'll end up putting a link in the description below. But if you go check out my Twitter, you'll see the link there. Posted it today, and that video is up for you guys to check out if you're interested in it. If not, hey, that's cool. It doesn't have anything to do with gaming or anything like that, and that's what you guys are here for. So yeah, it's a different channel, OCD Gamer. Sup, Ron Slusher. Says, as long as Game Pass is value, I don't care about layoffs and consoles. I don't. I care about layoffs to the extent that I don't like to see people lose their jobs, but I'm not going to sit there and also pretend like it's a Game Pass problem or it's a larger sustainability problem or anything like that. Um, the funny thing was Game Pass came up after those layoffs, but there was nothing related to Game Pass whatsoever with that situation. I even had made a post about how come nobody's asking about any of the other services after those companies make layoffs on the sustainability of those PS Plus X or Ubisoft Plus EA or whatever, any of the gaming subscriptions, right? Amazon has a gaming subscription, Apple has a gaming subscription. Nobody ever talks about anything else other than Game Pass when it comes to sustainability and profitability. And the reason why is because two things. Like one, they like to shit on Xbox, and two, it's actually way better than any other service out there because it's actually giving you day and date games. So that was my point in my post that I made, is that the reason that people are talking about Game Pass is because it is actually giving us so much more value. Whereas people just kind of accepted the reality of these services that aren't really providing us that much. And hey, they're not going to ever question that. It's like if you want to sign up for it, sign up for it. But it's definitely not for everybody because it hardly gives a shit. Whereas Game Pass actually gives us a shit ton of stuff to look forward to and be excited for and actually gives us great value. So that's why it's discussed with that. And that, as consumers and gamers, should be the opposite. We should be asking PlayStation and these other services to be putting their games in there sooner. I like EA has an option for it, not on the console, but I would like to see them. Ubisoft is doing it now on console as well, and you can get that on Xbox. But yeah, I would like to see more companies offer better value for the services that they provide, and the fact that PlayStation doesn't get any pressure whatsoever for putting their games in their service is absolutely ridiculous to me. Um, Waiting years to put a first party game in their gaming subscription is fucking asinine to me. Absolutely ridiculous to me. I don't know why we don't ask for them to do more. Instead, people question the validity of Game Pass because they're giving us more. It's such a backwards ass way of thinking as gamers. It makes no damn sense to me. And people's response to that was, well, it's because of the layoffs and stuff. Well, as far as I'm aware, the games that were canceled, uh, Perfect Dark has not released yet. Game Pass was definitely not an issue with that because there's nothing to point to. The ZeniMax Online game, as sad as I am to see that go, definitely was not a Game Pass issue as well, hurting the sales because, again, that game has not released yet. Though there's only, we could point to maybe Tango Gameworks, but a few years ago. But we already know that that situation was not involved with Game Pass, has been talked about numerous times in the past. And you want to say Redfall was a Game Pass problem? I mean, let's be real. So, in general, like people keep pointing to the layoffs as some kind of a Game Pass thing, and there's really nothing whatsoever to actually even suggest that. In fact, actually, reports have come up that subscription spending in gaming is actually increased, and premium titles are still decreasing as far as gamers paying for it. And that's regardless of Game Pass, because guess what? Game Pass isn't on every fucking platform. Now, is it? So what is the culprit there? Is it the black hole games, free to play games? Is it the fact that the younger generations just are less interested in the same kind of games that we grew up with, and they're more focused on these live service online always going kind of games, and they just play one game for years? I think we can point out to a lot of those kind of situations as why less games sell big time. However, there has been games that are in Game Pass that have actually been some of the top sellers this year. Oblivion Remaster has been one of the top sellers this year. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 launched day and date into Game Pass. It did really well also, and it's probably going to be a Game of the Year contender. So, yeah, a lot of these conversations are really not have any kind of reality to them. It's just talking points based on what a few people say. And that's not news. That's not news. Xbox taking too long getting games out, PlayStation 2. That's a problem. That's a problem with fucking every big publisher, man. We talked about that. That's been a thing that pisses me off. That's the thing that pisses me off in general with gaming. And I also point to a lot of the waste at a lot of the publishers where they have these big games that are in development for a long time. They get canceled. They end up pitching so many different projects that end up spending a couple years behind the scenes without us ever even hearing about them. And then they get canceled, or they end up testing so much, focus groups, market research, all this other kind of bullshit where people that aren't really gamers are trying to dictate what the market tells them that we want. Um, and whereas you see the things that we actually want, the kind of things that we're asked for, are the things that actually sell. So there's a lot of bloat. There's a lot of unnecessary things regarding the gaming industry that happens at the big time publishers that I think some of the big publishers are starting to get aware of, and like, why are we wasting so much money on bullshit? We need to trim that down, and we need to start getting our processes fixed. And maybe that involves some of the layoffs too. I don't know. But there's definitely an element there whereas we need to figure out why companies like um, Sandfall Interactive, who's a brand new studio, can make a game like Clair Obscur Expedition 33, but you can have a developer that has 1,000 devs in it that partnering with two other studios, and you have another 1,000 contract workers, whatever, can't finish a fucking game in 7 years. There's an issue there, right? And you can point out a lot of the publishers that had struggled more. One mainly Ubisoft, also has struggled a lot with that. WB Games struggled a lot with that stuff. Xbox has struggled with the timeline. I think they're also guilty of doing some of this stuff with like the market research focus groups, like figuring out pipeline, how to structure pipelines, checks and balances, and all these kind of things, and kind of overcomplicating the system in the name of checks and balances, but it's just slowing progress down, I think. And I think a lot of publishers are kind of guilty of that stuff, and where you see smaller, more nimble companies that are more purely in control of their creation be able to pump out games, and a lot of those have taken off and become really awesome. So I think that's a bigger issue that the gaming industry's had with the growth of the industry, and these publishers and the investors and everything is just getting so big where there's more pressure on everything and everybody, that they are starting all to do is hiring, and they start putting all these things in place, and like, what is, oh, this game is doing this, so we need our version of that. Or this game is doing really good, so we need our version of that. Well, let's go test about 20 different versions of our style of that and see which one wins. And then let's spend 5 years making that. Oh, well, actually, it's going to be delayed 2 more years. And then by the time that fucking thing ever comes out, people aren't interested in that kind of game anymore. Things move. People's interests move. Not everybody wants to flick and play the new Fortnite anymore. Whatever the next big version of that is. Like, people wanting something fresh, something new. People are getting sick of all these copycats left and right. Just my opinions. Could be wrong about everything. I don't know. Perfect Dark is equivalent to a psych. Man, I was fucking excited for Perfect Dark. A Fable and Perfect Dark were like my two main games I've been excited for all generation from Xbox first party. Besides Halo Infinite came out, I really enjoyed it. I wasn't happy when they decided to end the 10-year plan because people were crying a lot. Um, but anyway, they ended the 10-year plan there, ended up ruining that for me as far as single player content that I was excited for. But overall, Halo Infinite was a great game. I think it still is a great game. Play is amazing. The story is actually really fun. Multiplayer is a blast. I have a lot of content. Forge on there is incredible for all the Forge created content now. I'm excited for what Halo has to bring in the future. Really excited for it. I think there's been a lot of conversation because one of the news items that came out recently is a Halo CE remake, which is something that's supposed to be in development. Will only have single player and not have multiplayer, which is kind of something we had touched on before in the past. For me, I'm cool with that. Like, I at this point, I'm more excited for the story of Halo than anything. The first Halo game, Halo CE, had a killer ass multiplayer, but it wasn't online unless you rigged it for online, which I did. But yeah, the campaign is what was the most memorable thing, I think, as far as putting that in the hearts and minds of gamers at launch. And then the multiplayer is something that lasted and kind of took off in a world of its own with Halo CE. And it would have been cool to see an online revamped version of that. However, with this being their first foray into Unreal Engine 5 with making Halo again, I think what we're seeing is Halo Studios under their new moniker take the foundation of what Halo is, build a great single player game that's built upon the foundation of the original, and kind of let's start there, make an awesome game, and then let's build from that. And I think that would be pretty damn awesome. What's up, Alvin? So I've actually played a single match of CE multiplayer. You've never played a single match? Interesting. What's up, Ron Slusher? What's up, Def Leppard, Dark Zone, RSJ, uh, Rapper says, yeah, bye. Robbie Gold, what's up? Uh, let's see, Sin, Depka, what up? What up? Andrew Colonane. Yeah, thank you all for being here, except for whoever that fucker was. Yeah, peace out. APIMB says, I'm a huge Halo fan, but the community is so fractured, it's impossible to have discussions. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's really difficult to have discussions regarding some of these things with Xbox and especially Halo too, because Halo has more pressure than any other studio or any other game, in my opinion. Like, you have to have every fucking thing at launch. I remember Halo Infinite came out, it didn't have Forge and it didn't have like co-op, right? And people were like shitting themselves for that. Yeah, it's awesome to have all the content at launch, but what other games? I mean, Call of Duty has a lot of the stuff, right? But like, what other games launch with that much full features these days? Like, hardly anything does, except Halo. Expectations are everything needs to be there right away. I mean, we have PlayStation out there launching a game like Last of Us, um, and then they come out and they say the faction's going to be delayed, and they never even fucking put it out. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares. Where we had two modes. One was more of a feature, and the other was a full-on mode from Halo, not at their launch, and that was like the biggest thing in the world, right? So that was kind of where I was coming from at launch with that stuff. It ended up being more of, I think, with Halo Infinite, more so of like a speed of content, getting the content out after launch with the multiplayer, that became more of the issue, where they were trying to fix so many different things that they weren't able to get a lot of the maps out and stuff that people were wanting on a regular good seasonal cadence, and that hurt Halo Infinite early on. But then they hit their footing in the ground, and Halo Infinite was still a profitable, very successful thing for Xbox despite a lot of the conversation. But yeah, I think Halo CE is going to be great, and you're going to have all the negative conversation and talks from a lot of people that about multiplayer not being there. I want to play the story, and then I'll get amped up for the next big Halo game that has multiplayer in it. You could also see some other Halo spin-offs that have multiplayer or something like that too. Who knows what to expect? So I'm excited for the future of Halo. I think also we got Gears of War. Is kind of similar situation. I think the Gears of War Reloaded is not gonna have multiplayer, if I'm not mistaken. So there's that. But yeah, another game that launched without all the features was Forza Motorsport. That one I think kind of hurt it quite a bit. You had a lot of the diehards of Forza Motorsport, which is really what carries that brand and that game, disappointed, and you never want to do that. And that's like stuff that should have been there. That's stuff that should have been there, and they took a really long time. Now, unfortunately, we've seen half of Turn 10 studios potentially laid off as part of that newest round of layoffs, and that sucks. But I'm hopeful still for the future of all of those. What's up? Since says let's see, the Roram says Halo is known for its multiplayer more than the campaign. That's why. Yeah, I agree, but it doesn't mean they can't do something occasionally that doesn't have multiplayer. You know what I mean? Like, I would hate for certain like every game to be just pigeonholed into having to do a certain thing. A franchise, I should say, because like let's have some flexibility. Let's have some different kinds of releases, and let's not just expect every single thing that launches that's Halo to have every fucking single thing that Halo's ever had, right? And that's kind of what a lot of the hard things for Halo to overcome is like really got to have everything. And we talked about this when they made the announcement that they were switching to Unreal. Is that like, wow, it's going to be hard for them to actually switching engines again now, like have everything. Like, what are the expectations from gamers going to be? Like, for me, my expectation for Halo is a re-envisioning of it at this point, like something fresh. You know what I mean? And that's my expectation, not to have the end all be all version of the last Halo games where it's built upon itself, built upon itself, built upon itself. For me, that's what Infinite was supposed to be. For me, now that they're switching engines, they have brand new studio name and all this kind of stuff. After what happened with the Infinite and everything, I'm at the point where, like, I want a fresh start for Halo, and I think this could be that. And if it's a kick ass fucking single player campaign and it's amazing and we fucking love it, then that's good enough for me for now. And we'll build upon that, right? But what I love for multiplayer to be there also, yeah. Maybe it could be an add on. Maybe it'd be something that launches separately as another free to play thing. I don't know. Let's see here. Reloaded has multi. Oh, does it? Okay, cool. There was. Oh, yeah, that's right. Fuck. What was it that had some news that wasn't going to have multiplayer besides Halo? Yeah, thanks for correcting me. I completely forgot about that. Maybe they should shadow drop. What, for Halo CE? That'd be cool. I mean, I think there's going to be some cool news here with Halo in October. So I think we'll be seeing some cool stuff then. I think Gamescom, we're going to have some cool news with Xbox stuff as well. Um, but that was it, but it was debunked. Okay. I couldn't remember. You know, there was like it was a time where I was really focused on a lot of this stuff, so kind of just all went over my head for a little while there. COVID-19 hurt Forza Motorsport. I'm a diehard with 30 plus days in Forza Motorsport. Yeah, Forza Motorsport, fucking amazing game. I've been playing a lot of it lately. I played quite a bit of Forza Motorsport ever since launch. But yeah, I've played it quite a bit lately. I've just been diving back in, and man, it's so good. Like just the way the cars handle, the way the tracks look, the lighting. I mean, everything about that game is awesome on track. My issues with motorsport come from outside the track. Uh, a lot of the stuff when it comes to customization, a lot of the stuff when it comes to like community aspect things, just general UI. It's missing a little flavor in those areas where it's kind of missing some character. It kind of feels a little ghost towny or something. I don't know. It just feels a little like flat. But when you're on the track in the car, it's like, wow, this is fucking incredible, right? Which is the most important thing. I would like to see them bring the game to life and tie everything into other things besides when you're on the track to help bring some audience in there, tie everything together, community, more customization, sharing things easier, all that kind of stuff, and kind of bring the culture of Forza Motorsport back. And I think ultimately that's some of the stuff that's missing there, where you had the guys that would make all those video edits, and you had all the customizers and the painters and all that stuff. Like bring those worlds all together right in front of our eyes, right when we launch the fucking game. You know what I mean? Like bring all those worlds together, fully feature everything for all of those communities, and let's bring it all together. And I want to see when I launch Forza Motorsport, I want to see my garage, right, with multiple cars everywhere in the background, and I want to be able to see like, okay, oh, there's Pong Soul's car. I want to go over there and fucking walk around it and check it out, right? What has he been driving lately? What has this got on it? What does it look like? Oh, let's inspect that car. I want to be able to see that just from the fucking like launch screen when you launch the game. I want to be able to go click on that car and be like, okay, I want to race this car. What's a good what class is it? I want to build a fucking car to race him and beat his time on this track. Like cool shit like that. It just sounds fucking awesome to me, man. Like that's the kind of stuff I want for Forza Motorsport. I don't know if they can do it and bring it to life that way. They do have meetups now where you can kind of like get a group of people and just kind of race around a track and stuff. But the community aspect there is like, all right, let's invite people to a lobby. Let's launch this lobby and go from there. Whereas, like, it just doesn't feel alive outside of that. Like, you just see this gray screen, gray floor, gray menus, drop down boxes, career, quick play, and then online. Like, just like give us something that feels fucking alive and has some culture there, man. When you're on the track, everything's fucking amazing. It's like, hey, this is the best racing, best looking game out there right now. So, anyway, it's already in Horizon, its rivals. Yeah, there's stuff like that in a lot of racing games. Motorsport's missing some of that stuff, man. Like Horizon does a lot of that stuff pretty damn good. It could do some things better, but like overall, like Horizon really ties a community together amazingly. But like for Motorsport, not at all, not really, and that's kind of a shame. Halo Infinite's title referred to what Forge is. It was for the community to make their own Infinite platform with Halo. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could see that. I say that. I think before their marketing with the whole 10-year plan thing, and talking about how there's planned stuff for 10 years for that game and stuff like this, like that is what fell flat there. But if you look at it, yeah, for me, Halo Infinite is gonna be a game that lives on unless they shut it down at some point. That game is going to be one you go back to like forever. Like Master Chief Collection also. You can see Turn 10 and Playground merging to help out with the future title. Yeah, man, I don't know what's in the store for the future. Yeah, for Forza Motorsport, man. But I really have hope for the best. But unfortunately, right now, I just don't think anybody really has all the answers to that. It's like, and you could say that with a lot of the brands. Like, I wonder if they're ever gonna kickstart another Perfect Dark. Like they made a long attempt at developing a game, and then eventually they gave up on it. And they end up canceling it with the layoffs. There's like a graveyard from all these publishers of canceled projects that could have been awesome and dead IP. Perfect Dark was an IP that had a lot of potential that we're just not seeing back. It's like Ubisoft with Splinter Cell, man. Like, where is it? There's been It's been what 3 years now, maybe even almost four, where since we've heard about the Splinter Cell remake is in development, and still I even haven't seen an official announcement besides a blog post about it. Nothing at any of the shows or anything like that. Mr. Waffle says career mode has been lacking in every game nowadays. It's like that in GT7 and so many other custom and current racing games. Yeah. I want to see better from the racing games these days when it comes to a lot of that stuff. I think GT7 does better in the like menus and the community aspects with some of those things. Like if you go to where the designs are for all the cars, I like the system that they have where you can view all those and view all the cars and check them out. I like that whole scapes they have for viewing the cars in different settings and stuff. I like the way that they have the cars in the garage where the customization is and stuff like that too. They have some good options and stuff. On track though is where Turismo is behind Motorsport for me, right? On track, it's good, right? It's good, but it's not Motorsport. Forza Motorsport by far for me is a better game on track. But all those other aspects of Gran Turismo I really love, and it kind of ties it together. And it's still a fun, really good game on track too. And I miss playing it right now. Like I want to play Gran Turismo. I don't have a PlayStation right now, so it sucks that they haven't put it out on PC yet. It's stupid. I don't know why they won't, but it would be nice. I'll tell you that because I would love to play it on my fucking PC. Um, since as I'm afraid Turn 10 is probably gonna get turned out. I hope not, man. I hope they rebuild. I hope they kind of do. You remember when 343 had the same kind of thing? You had like a mass layoff situation there at 343, and then they started building back up, and then now they have the hit studio name change. I hope out of the ashes of the layoffs that happened at Turn 10, I hope we get Turn 10 rebuilt into something bigger and better. That would be awesome. Now we still got to see what Halo Studios produces, for sure, right? There's no guarantee that it's going to be amazing, but we know they're working on multiple Halo projects. So I hope that is something we can say in the future for Turn 10 also. All right. Let's see here. I'm going to try and get some of the comments here. I don't even, what is this? Number ones, number twos, number threes, and all this stuff. You know what those are? You were talking about it, babe, in the earlier. It was like, yeah, there's like new stuff on YouTube, man. Top fans, how much they put. Oh, okay. So all right, I guess that's yeah. If you interact more, that's what those number one, twos, and threes mean. I didn't even know what that was. What's up, Brett? How's it going? Is that what it says? uh huh. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Top fans. Well, if there was only one viewer, it'd be my only fan. They turned 100 careers. They turned 100-hour careers into 30 hours. Yeah, yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens, man. The good news is with Xbox, I mean, there's a shit ton of games in development. I mean, Forza Horizon 6 might be next year also. And with what they did with 5, I am just insanely anticipating what they're going to be able to create with 6. I mean, I this is also going to be a longer turnaround between games for them. Uh, it could be a 2-game year next year for Playground. The Playground could by far be like the studio of the year, and so really submit. Remember, a long time ago they said this. They wanted to be the best game studio in the world. And if next year we get a stellar Forza Horizon 6 and a stellar Fable in the same fucking year, that might be something we can actually say. Brett Bingham says, I tore my Achilles playing pickleball about a month ago. So that's nice. Luckily, I don't need surgery. Man, you tore your Achilles playing pickleball, bro? Fuck. That sucks, man. I hope you get better, but damn, dude. I mean, that was some aggressive pickleballing you were doing. Tearing your Achilles? You hope they reinvent the wheel again with Forza Horizon 6? Man, it's like I want more. My ideas for Forza Horizon 6 would be maybe controversial to some in the community, like Forza Horizon, because it's such an arcade open world style game out, kind of like more of the countrysides and stuff like that. But I really want it in Japan, but I want Tokyo. Like a game I've been having fun with. It was an early access. Is Tokyo Extreme Racer. I can't wait for the full release of it. But that Tokyo Highway night racing challenges and all that kind of stuff is just fucking sick. And I could imagine in that engine with Playground, the Forza Tech or whatever they call it. I don't know, but I could just imagine night racing with the city lights of fucking Tokyo, racing through the city, racing on the highways, and then going out into the countryside beyond that and doing some of that stuff too. That's what I would fucking want for Forza Horizon 6, but that would be a drastic change from what Forza Horizon's been in the past. Um, I want to see the tuner culture propped up a lot in the game too, because it's something that's been missing, I think, from a lot of the racing games in recent years. Is more so, we got a lot of the GT racers. We got a lot of the, high end luxury like supercars and stuff like that racing. But I want to see those like classic tuners and old school muscle cars, and I want to work on those kind of the old school Need for Speed type stuff. I want to be able to have cars that are feasible actually for me to own, work on them, and just have a field day fucking racing around the highways. It'd be a blast. So anyway, that's what I hope for. There's plenty of those cars in Horizon already, and also there's a lot of them in motorsport and stuff as well. But it's like the customization aspect and all those other kind of things have kind of fell by the wayside when it comes to that, unless you're playing a game specifically geared towards those. But those aren't made by the big top tier developers and publishers. Those are more so, like you got your Tokyo Extreme Racer there, made by Genki, and other stuff. So yeah, I would love to see it. Maybe it's my old school person coming out that wants that, but that would be amazing. Yes, we need more customization, Brett Bingham says. I'm talking Need for Speed Underground, Underground 2, Most Wanted, and Carbon. Yeah. Unbound has some pretty good customization, but like that Unbound also in those Need for Speed games that have launched more recently, they go a little overboard on the arcade aspects. Like I like the Forza aspect where they've had before where it's kind of like tinkering around more in a somewhat more realistic way with the cars, and makes it feel more like I want to feel like I fucking own this car, and I have time invested in it, and has improved over time, and I've gotten better with it, and I've been able to inc- work on it and improve my times with it and all that kind of stuff, and also make it look more badass. Like I want that sense in a racing game, and I really, yeah, Forza Motorsport, I think tried to do it with their whole car progression thing, but it didn't really work because like you're just once you race through one series, it's kind of like you got to move on to a different fucking car. There's still not that whole long progression thing of like it's just like race through one series with the car and then move on to another series, and then it's a different class or it's a different style of car and you got to pick a whole different fucking car. Like I want a career with a car I start up with, get to a certain point, and then have to begrudgingly make the decision of like, man, like I need money to invest in my other car to advance. So I'm gonna have to sell this thing, but I love it. So do I just keep racing my races now and build up more money because I'm having so much fun with this car, and keep it, and then buy something with the winnings? Like that was the decisions we had to make back in the day with some of these kind of games, but now it's like you're just winning so much money, you're getting buying cars left and right. You're the way that the career modes are set up, you're only able to really spend a certain amount of time with the class of car anyway, so it doesn't really make sense to spend too much time with one car. Yeah, I really want that, and like the game that gave that sense to me the most back in the day was the original Gran Turismo. The original Gran Turismo was that you buy a fucking used piece of shit car, and you had to really earn everything, and you got better, improved your times and all that stuff, and after you put in so much time with it, eventually you're able to upgrade or get something else. But then by that time, man, you love that piece of shit that you bought. Brett Bingham says, I wrote to Turn 10 for a decade of what they needed to do to get back to Forza Motorsport 4 level quality. They needed repercussions to move forward. They failed one too many times, in my honest opinion. Yeah, we'll see, man. I think they developed a great game here, but it's missing some of the aspects about like progression and sense of ownership, the community aspects that I talked about, and all those kind of things. I think are missing from Motorsport, and those things they could work on. But as far as what they built on track, it's next level. So they have the most important foundation. It's just the blocks around it tying everything together that they're missing. And I hope that the layoffs that they had don't mean that they're ending a lot of support for this game, because if they really put forth the effort and kind of revamped a lot of the things around the track, then they have something really fucking special with that game that they could build around for. Fuck, people are still playing a set of courses. I mean, you could have a foundation of a game that people play for fucking 10, 15 years if you really fucking look at it. Like, the foundation's there. Just tie everything in around it. Make all the other things awesome. Um, yeah, there's lots of stuff to look forward to on Xbox, man. It's like I'm really excited for the game still releasing this year. The announcement's still yet to come. Games releasing over the next couple years. I'm excited for that ROG Ally, Xbox ROG Ally. I mean, a lot of conversations being had about the $1,000 price tag potentially. It is that's for the higher end version, which is like a beast of a handheld device. It could potentially be less. It could be $899. I don't know. But that's what it costs for one of these beastly handheld PCs. Like if for the top tier versions of them, and with all the improvements they're doing around all the features that are going to be adding into that, I'm excited to see what the next generation looks like for Xbox too when it comes to that. But I think next year, guys, I mean, 2025 has been absolutely incredible. 2026 is going to be the heavy hitters year. As we saw Phil Spencer say in that in the showcase, Halo, Forza, Gears, um, Fable, 2026, and I think there's going to be a lot more beyond that as well. So keep an eye out for 2026. Also, potential hardware release for next year, um, where Xbox becomes something different and completely keeps evolving and changing the way we access our games and stuff. And like I champion it, man. I'm sick of the feeling that I need to buy a piece of hardware to play a specific game. I want the hardware to speak for itself. I want the hardware to be capable and give me the most features and access to my games. And if the more gate kept a piece of hardware is, with the less features it has, the less attractive it is. Like in general, like I want fucking everything in a device, not less. Anyway, we talked a little bit earlier about that truth, games media, and all that kind of stuff. Got to talk about Forza. We got to talk about Halo. We got to talk about some things. We do have a show on Thursday, so I'm not gonna keep rambling on about stuff. But I do want to say thank you to. We almost have 100 people here randomly on a fucking Tuesday night while I'm sitting here just shooting the shit, talking games. You guys are awesome. Appreciate you all being here. I know we all can agree and disagree on different things. We try to be less negative on this channel with certain things, and I think that overall, a lot of the stuff we've said has kind of proved out to be more true than anything regarding the future of where Xbox is headed. And I hope don't like Fuzzy says, try not to get caught up in the doom scrolling as much. Ignore a lot of the shit that you see with people just bringing up random topics to be able to have conversations about, to shit on things and stuff. It's just so fucking annoying and negative and gets old. Shout out to you, Def Leppard. Good to see you too. Hey, thank you for Taco Tuesday with Mav. Man, I wish I had some fucking taco. I did have a burrito today, although we didn't film it for our new channel. I needed. We should do like a Taco Tuesday thing. A Taco Tuesday thing? That should be a thing. You trying a new taco place every Tuesday? Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, we have. There is a taco place near us that I love. That has, is it like, it's 99 cent? Yeah, 99 cent street tacos for their trompo tacos, and they are delicious. Although my favorite taco shop is on the other side of town, and I haven't had them in a while. So I think Tuesday, next, yeah. So hey, yes, you are. Maybe homemade. So are we gonna do that too? Like, are we gonna food vlog the tacos tomorrow? Sure. Okay. Maybe that'll be a live on your TikTok, or on that, to not your TikTok, the other TikTok. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so for y'all that didn't hear earlier, today we officially launched a new channel. It's me and my beautiful wife, Caitlin. It's called Sup Babe Network. It's over on YouTube. We're going to be posting stuff on YouTube, TikTok. She made everything for it. She made an Instagram. She made a Twitter for it. Yeah, this stuff just launched today. We've posted one video today and just posted that on YouTube. And it was us just driving around yesterday, shooting the shit, getting food and stuff. So you'll see content like that. And then you'll also see like a podcast eventually in here. We'll do it. I don't know if we decide if we're doing it live or not yet. maybe pre-recorded, but we haven't decided that yet 100%. But we're going to record podcasts in here, and it's just about life stuff, food stuff, whatever we want to talk about. And so you can look out for that. But yeah, check out the Kate put the link in the chat earlier. I don't know if you can do that again. But yeah, check out our first video of us just driving around. I got a burger from Brahms. So if you want to see me stuff my face with a burger from Brahms, you can check that out too. You missed the Mav rants? Yeah, man. Well, hey, fuck all those pieces of shit out there that are talking shit all the fucking time for no damn reason, making up bullshit just for the sake of clicks and attention. You all suck.
He meant Mavcast. Calm down.
Oh, you meant Mavcast? Okay. Well, we're back. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate you all. And I hope you have a good one.
I saw some people mention your little UFO thing.
Oh, y'all like it? She made fun of me when I bought this. You like this fucking UFO and Bigfoot? I love it. She made fun of me for buying it, but then I put the batteries in it, and she saw how it lit up, and she was like, "That's really fucking cool." She's jealous of it now.
I'm not jealous. I'm in the same room.
That's true.
We're gonna do a video of our room too.
Yeah.
It's like literally like a split room, like half you, half me.
Yeah, we have a split room here. I don't know if they can hear you or not. So it's like, I could turn the gain up and they could hear you probably better. But like, half our room is like split up. Like it's like we fucking got half and half.
Really fucking cool.
It is cool. Anyway, you guys take it easy. Peace out. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, see you Thursday. Fun Speculation Podcast, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Peace out.